For decades, Africa has been presented to the world through one very narrow image: a continent of poverty, a continent of villages, a continent of dirt roads, mud houses, and people struggling to survive. Some people still believe Africans live in trees. Some believe we don't have running water. Some believe we don't have good roads, modern cars, skyscrapers, shopping malls, or sophisticated cities. And unfortunately, some people still imagine Africa as though the continent has been frozen in time. But that picture is incomplete. Africa is changing. Across the continent, cities are expanding, highways are being built, skylines are rising, and entire new urban districts are appearing. And while Africa still has serious challenges, there are places where the transformation is so dramatic that you could show someone a photograph and ask them to guess the continent, and they might get it completely wrong. So today we're counting down 10 places in Africa that look nothing like the stereotype. And we're starting at number 10. But whatever you do, don't leave before number 1, because the final place on this list isn't just impressive because of one building or one project. It represents years of continuous urban transformation, and I honestly think number 1 deserves the top spot. Let's begin. Number 10 is Accra, Ghana. Accra is one of West Africa's fastest changing capitals. Look beyond the traditional images of Ghana, and you'll find modern shopping centers, luxury hotels, high-rise buildings, business districts, sophisticated restaurants, modern residential developments, and busy highways. Accra has become an important center for business, entertainment, technology, and culture in West Africa. And the interesting thing is that the city continues to evolve. New buildings are appearing, new businesses are arriving, and entire parts of the metropolitan area are being transformed. This is not to say Accra has no problems. It does. But the idea that Africa is simply made up of villages and dirt roads completely falls apart when you look at modern Accra, and we're only getting started. Number 9 is Echo Atlantic in Lagos, Nigeria. Now this one is different, because Echo Atlantic isn't simply an existing neighborhood that became modern. It is an entirely new coastal city being developed on reclaimed land from the Atlantic Ocean. Think about that. A new city being built beside one of Africa's largest megacities. Echo Atlantic is planned with modern roads, infrastructure, commercial districts, residential developments, and high-rise buildings. The development is located next to Victoria Island in Lagos and is designed as a modern, self-sufficient urban district. And when you see the skyline from above, you might genuinely think you're looking at a futuristic city somewhere outside Africa, but it's Lagos, Nigeria, Africa. Echo Atlantic is one of the clearest examples of how the continent's urban landscape is changing. Number 8 is Abuja, Nigeria. If Lagos is Nigeria's giant commercial powerhouse, Abuja is its planned political capital. And Abuja can look surprisingly different from what many people imagine Nigeria to be. The city has wide roads, modern government buildings, luxury hotels, shopping centers, modern residential estates, and an increasingly impressive skyline. Then there is Aso Rock. That enormous natural formation sitting behind the city gives Abuja a visual identity that is almost cinematic. And when you combine the rock, the wide boulevards, modern architecture, and carefully planned districts, you get a city that looks very different from the stereotype of Africa. Number 7 is Nairobi, Kenya. Nairobi is another city that can completely destroy the old image of Africa. Look at the skyline, look at the highways, look at the office towers, look at the shopping malls, look at the technology companies, look at the modern developments surrounding the city. Nairobi has become one of East Africa's most important business and technology centers, and the transformation isn't stopping. Projects such as Tattoo City and Konza Technopolis are part of Kenya's broader ambition to create modern urban and technology hubs. This is a city where you can experience traditional African culture in the morning and walk into a modern technology or business district in the afternoon. That's the complexity of modern Africa. Number 6 is Luanda, Angola. Luanda is one of those cities that can genuinely surprise you. Angola's capital has undergone enormous urban development, particularly in its modern central districts. You'll find impressive roads, high-rise buildings, modern apartment complexes, luxury hotels, and major waterfront developments. Some parts of Luanda almost look like they were designed for a completely different continent. And the city has also been associated with ambitious plans for new urban districts and satellite developments. It's another example of something happening across Africa. The continent isn't simply expanding old cities. In some cases, it's attempting to build new ones. Number 5 is Cape Town, South Africa. Cape Town almost feels unfair to put on this list because it is so visually spectacular. Imagine a modern city surrounded by mountains and ocean. You've got skyscrapers, luxury hotels, modern roads, beautiful beaches, shopping districts, world-class restaurants, and then sitting behind everything is Table Mountain. Cape Town has an appearance that could easily make someone think they're looking at Australia, Europe, or North America. But this is Africa, South Africa. And beyond its natural beauty, Cape Town has developed into an important business, tourism, technology, and innovation center. The city shows that modern African cities don't need to copy another continent. They can develop their own unique identity. Number 4 is Casablanca, Morocco. Now we're heading north. Casablanca is one of the places that can completely change someone's perception of Africa. This is a major commercial and financial city with modern highways, high-rise buildings, luxury hotels, shopping centers, and sophisticated urban districts. The city has also developed into an important financial center for Morocco and the wider African market. And Morocco has invested heavily in transportation, infrastructure, tourism, and urban development. When you see Casablanca from above, the old stereotype becomes increasingly difficult to defend, because this doesn't look like the Africa many people were taught to imagine. Number 3 is Kigali, Rwanda. There are few African capitals whose image has changed as dramatically as Kigali. Kigali is known for its clean streets, organized urban environment, greenery, and ambitious development plans. The city is also positioning itself as a technology and innovation center. One of the most interesting developments is Kigali Innovation City, which is designed to bring universities, technology companies, startups, and businesses together. Carnegie Mellon University Africa is already located within Kigali Innovation City, demonstrating the technology and education ambitions behind the development. Kigali is not trying to become another London or New York. It is attempting to create its own model of a modern African city. And now we're getting close to number 1. Number 2 is the new administrative capital of Egypt. Imagine deciding that your existing capital isn't enough, so you build another one. That is essentially what Egypt has been doing with its new administrative capital east of Cairo. This enormous development contains government districts, residential areas, business districts, monumental buildings, parks, roads, and modern transportation infrastructure. The scale is enormous, and the city has continued to receive major infrastructure additions. In 2026, Egypt inaugurated the East Nile monorail in the Green River area in the new administrative capital. The project represents one of the most ambitious attempts to create a new urban center in Africa. And when you see the massive towers and monumental architecture, it can look more like a futuristic city from a science fiction movie than a city in Africa. But impressive as this is, there is still one place left. And this is why I told you to stay until number 1. Number 1 is Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. If there is one city I believe deserves the number 1 position on this list, it is Addis Ababa. And the reason isn't simply because of one skyscraper. It isn't because of one luxury hotel. It isn't because of one mega project. It is because of the continuous transformation happening across the city. For years, Addis Ababa has been undergoing major infrastructure and urban development projects. Roads, corridors, pedestrian walkways, bike lanes, parks, public spaces, transport infrastructure, riverside development, modern buildings, and new urban districts. The scale of the ongoing development is enormous. Across Addis Ababa, major corridors are being transformed with new asphalt roads, pedestrian walkways, bicycle lanes, parks, recreational spaces, transport facilities, and other infrastructure. And this is why Addis Ababa deserves number one. The transformation isn't just something you see in one isolated part of the city. You can see it across the capital. Drive through Addis Ababa and you can see old and new Africa existing side by side. Traditional Ethiopian culture, historic buildings, modern towers, new roads, massive construction projects, modern parks, hotels, restaurants, business districts, and a city that continues to expand. And Ethiopia's ambitions go beyond Addis Ababa. The country is also pursuing massive infrastructure projects outside the capital. One example is the planned Bishoftu Airport project, which is expected to become one of the largest aviation projects in Africa. That tells you something about the scale of Ethiopia's infrastructure ambitions. And this is why I don't think number one should simply be a beautiful building. It should represent continuous transformation. Addis Ababa represents a city that is constantly being rebuilt, expanded, and modernized. And perhaps the most important thing about this entire list is that none of these places means Africa has suddenly become perfect. Africa still has poverty. Africa still has inequality. Africa still has infrastructure gaps. And many communities across the continent still face serious challenges. But that's exactly why the stereotype is so misleading. Africa is not one place. Africa is not one city. Africa is not one experience. It is a continent of 54 countries, thousands of cities, and more than 1 billion people. You can find traditional villages and futuristic developments on the same continent. You can find ancient history and cutting-edge technology. You can find rural communities and massive modern cities. And that is the Africa the world needs to see. Not an Africa that pretends its problems don't exist, but an Africa that is finally being seen in its entirety. An Africa that is building. An Africa that is changing. An Africa that is urbanizing. An Africa that is innovating. And an Africa that is looking toward the future. So the next time somebody tells you Africa is nothing but poverty, dirt roads, and people living in trees, show them this video. Because Africa has never been just one story. And the future of Africa may be even more impressive than what you're seeing today.